Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Pixie Pine Miner 34. Thanks for the suggestion, Pixie Pine Miner. You asked, what happens in cryptocurrency mining? Well, first off, despite the name, there are no pickaxes, no sweaty miners in hard hats, and absolutely no canaries in cages. Cryptocurrency mining is the mysterious, computer-powered process that keeps digital money moving, and it's weirder, nerdier, and way less dusty than you think. So, stay tuned as we crack open the blockchain right here on Explaining Everything. Let's get this straight. When people say cryptocurrency mining, they're not talking about going into a cave to chip away at glowing Bitcoin nuggets. Instead, mining is really just a fancy term for using a bunch of computers to solve ridiculously complicated math problems. These aren't the kind of math problems you had in school, like if Bob has 5 apples and gives Tim 2. No, these are math problems so hard they make Einstein look like he's counting on his fingers. The goal? To verify transactions on something called the blockchain, a giant public record of every single crypto transaction ever made. Think of the blockchain like a huge, super secure diary, except instead of teenage crushes and bad poetry, it's filled with who sent money to whom. Every time you buy, sell, or send cryptocurrency, miners compete to lock that new transaction into the diary. Mining isn't a slow, thoughtful process. It's a competition. Imagine thousands of computers all around the world frantically trying to guess a secret password. The first one to get it right gets to add a new block of transactions to the blockchain, and as a reward, they get some fresh, shiny cryptocurrency. It's like a global game show, except the contestants are computers. The questions are math problems, and the prize is, well, potentially millions of dollars. Also, there's no charming host, just a lot of whirring fans, and the occasional smell of overheating graphics cards. And because the math is so hard, miners use incredibly powerful machines called ASICs, application-specific integrated circuits, or massive setups of high-end graphics cards. These rigs don't care about Netflix, cat videos, or your online shopping. They exist purely to chew through calculations at terrifying speed. So, what's the math problem they're solving? Well, it's not about figuring out the meaning of life or curing diseases. Nope. They're basically trying to guess a number called a hash that fits the rules for the next block on the blockchain. A hash is like a digital fingerprint. Each block's fingerprint must be just right, or the blockchain won't accept it. But here's the twist. There's no shortcut to finding the right fingerprint. The only way to do it is to keep guessing numbers at lightning speed until, by pure luck, one works. It's like trying to guess the combination to a giant padlock, except the combination changes every time you guess wrong. And the lock is in space, and there are a million other people guessing at the same time. You get the idea. Okay, so miners get rewarded with cryptocurrency. But why does this process even exist? Simple. Without mining, the blockchain would just be a bunch of unverified promises. Mining keeps everything secure, honest, and tamper-proof. When a miner solves the math puzzle, they're basically proving, hey, I did all this work, and I can prove it. This is called proof of work, and it makes it nearly impossible for someone to cheat by rewriting the blockchain's history. Imagine a giant global classroom where every time someone hands in homework, all the other students check it, stamp it, and glue it into a book that can never be changed. That's mining, except the students are computers, and instead of glue, they use cryptography. All this number guessing takes a lot of energy, and I mean a lot. Mining farms, giant warehouses filled with mining machines, can use as much electricity as small countries. And that's before you count the air conditioning needed to keep the machines from melting into sad, expensive puddles. This is why you sometimes hear debates about whether mining is worth the environmental cost. It's the modern equivalent of striking gold, but also setting the forest on fire in the process. Some cryptocurrencies are now moving to other systems that use far less power, but classic proof-of-work mining is still going strong. Also, for the average person, mining at home isn't the money-printing dream it used to be. Unless your electricity bill is magically zero, the cost of powering and cooling your rig can quickly eat up your profits. Not to mention, your computer will sound like it's trying to take off for orbit. Behind the scenes, it's a chaotic, high-speed guessing game where powerful computers race to solve math puzzles. The winner gets to add a new block to the blockchain and earn some cryptocurrency as a reward. Mining keeps the system running, secures transactions, and ensures no one can cheat the ledger. It's the invisible engine of the crypto world, loud, energy-hungry, and surprisingly exciting for something that's just a lot of computers making random guesses. And while the gold rush vibe might be fun, remember, it's not magic money from nowhere. It's the result of an enormous amount of work, energy, and very nerdy problem solving. If you learned something new about cryptocurrencies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe don't attempt this on your home computer. It's not worth it. And hey, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.